I'm obviously Jason Dunning. I'm 45. I'm married to my wife, Courtney, which this upcoming June will be our 20th year wedding anniversary. So that'll be special on top of kicking off my first summer off season. And that my son, Peyton, who just turned 12 over the weekend, and he's a 6th grader at Marion Junior High, loves all sports, has been our ball boy since he was 3-4 years old. And then I've got a daughter, Maddie, who's a freshman here at MHS. And it's kind of funny that they had a big meeting, and they told us that they were going to be hiring a new baseball coach and football coach. And in came Coach Martin and his brother. And of course, us as all athletes, we just kind of are like, okay, looking at him. And sometimes coaches kind of have their own kind of body. You kind of stereotype a little bit. And we see Kerry and we see his brother Kurt there, and we thought, okay, well, looking at the two, Kurt must be the football coach and Kerry must be the baseball coach. And then that was very abruptly, kind of fixed and corrected, and it was said, okay, here is your new football coach, and here is one of his assistants. And then ironically, where we lived, we saw all of a sudden a new family was moving in just around the corner, and we had a big field behind the house, and we could literally see his house from our house. And so we just, we're very, very blessed to have him there. So he's been a part of my life as a long time. So I got to play for him for 2 years. And then I went to McKendree and played football and baseball there. And then came back after blowing out my shoulder. And Coach Martin asked me one day, what do you think about the coaching? I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. And the rest is, as they say, the rest is history. It changed my whole, basically my whole life from there. That I had plans ever since once I realized that I was not going to be a professional athlete. My goal and my expectations were to become a marine biologist and get a job at SeaWorld and working with whales or dolphins. And then all of a sudden, coaching got brought into my life, and I immediately switched my major and could not be happier. At that time, as a young coach in the profession, I absolutely admired, adored, respected him beyond words as a player. And then when I started coaching, I knew that he was very, very good, very talented. He was special, but even beyond the coaching, it was the fact that ever since my dad passed, and that was in '96, right before they won the state title, Coach Martin and Coach Seema and Kurt Martin, his brother, those guys have had that kind of male influence over me. And I wanted to be a part of that. And so as a coach, when, just like you see in the college and the pros, when that guy goes on, he'll bring those assistants with him. So I remember him calling me up and saying, hey, let's go get something to eat. I'm like, okay, that's kind of, that was a little, it wasn't out of the norm, but it's kind of at the time, kind of uncommon. And he goes, hey, I'm thinking about making this move, but I'm only making this move if I can bring my dudes with me. I want my guys. And to even be asked, there was no doubt, no second guessing, no questioning things. He asked me to go, and I thought, well, let's go, let's do this. And then, even after the first 3 years of struggle, there was still that trust in him. There was still that belief that we can do this. He believes we can do this. And I truly believe that the job of an assistant coach is to follow and believe in everything that head coach is doing. Buy in 100%, all in on what it is. And he stuck true to the process and taught us that. And, so yeah, there was no questioning, Now there were some times there was a little wavering, but it's like, no, believe in him, trust in him. And so, so yeah, it's been a move that, you know, and luckily he didn't, had he gone somewhere else, probably would have gone right along with him, because I knew that there was something there. And as I guess a more mature coach now, you know, I look back and go, yeah, you made the right decision in following him. And so following him now just kind of, you know, sticks with the whole process. I kind of really started to take notes, take notice. We had more conversations in hopes that this would be a transition that would happen. You know, and I guess to be honest, I was hoping to get it, but I also know that Coach Skeet was hoping to get it. And Coach Skeet and I had long conversations, and we both wanted the job, but we both would be still happy for the other if they got the job, and that the loyalty that we have for the program, the loyalty we have for each other doesn't change. So I feel very, very fortunate and blessed the fact that, you know, I've got Skeet there, and Justin Vinoy is going to stay on, and everybody except for Coach Martin is going to remain a part. And to be honest, as close as we are to him, that tree, that coaching hierarchy, however you want to describe it, is still going to be there. He's still a phone call away. He's not going to be there on the sideline, but he's going to be there a phone call away. And as much input and as much information I can get from him, I'm still going to try to keep his influence on things. I feel very lucky that I've got two guys, in Skeet and Coach Vinoy, with Coach Drust in there also, that have a lot of coaching experience. And I realize that one of the numerous things learning from Kerry is you got to get the right guys on the bus. You got to surround yourself with the right people. And it's not my job to call offense, it's my job to get the best I can get to call offense. And those two, and with Coach Drust's influence, are very, very good at what they do. So I'm gonna let them partake in that part. I think things, for the most part, is gonna remain the same. And not just because I'm trying to ride that, but as much as this is the only way I know. His system and his influence. And we as a staff, every offseason, sit down and we look, okay, here's what we liked, here's what we didn't like. Who out there is doing things that interest us? And then we look at our personnel in every aspect, offense, defense, special team, and go, okay, what do we need to replace? What do we have coming back? How can we best use the skills of the players that we've got? And so that's something that we've done all along, and that's something we'll continue to do. So it's gonna look very, very similar, because all of us have had our influence along the way, and we've not very many decisions were made without a staff input. So I guess one of the questions has been brought up, are we still going to come out to Enter Sandman? Absolutely. That is not changing. There are staples to this program that will remain the same, because we have believed in that since 2002, and it's going to continue because it's what we still believe in. One of the things that's made this transition pretty easy is the fact that the kids already have an expectation. Coaches, we already have an expectation, and our job all along has been to continue and believe in the process. No matter who's at the helm, so to say. If Skeet had got it, I think things would still look pretty similar to what we do, because it's what we constantly believe in. And I think the kids know how to practice. They know our expectations. And we've had a couple incidences along the way over the last few years where Coach Martin's had to step away. And he has said all along that if he's doing his job as a head coach, and this is one of the, like I said, many things I've written down going, I want to continue that. I want to continue that. If something happens and I can't be there or I have to step away, the practice and the program keeps running. no matter who's at the top. And I think that's just a testament to what the amazing job that he did, and not only coaching the players, but building the program and the culture. And that's just as impressive as the wins and the victories that we've established along the way. A lot of people have asked, what's it going to be like filling his shoes? And I don't know, the analogy, the thought that I have are, his shoes are his shoes. He's going to take those shoes and put those shoes, that's his legacy. And I know that to be successful, I've got to be me. I only know how to do things the way I know how to do them. And if I try to come in and be him, because no one else can be him, I'm gonna do a really, really bad job. And the kids are gonna see that, the fans are gonna see that, and that doesn't do anything to continue. I've got to be me. I've got to do things, and he's got a lot of influence on that because I played for him and I've coached for him, and he's the only one that I've been under for all these years. But I think we've had lots of conversations and off-season talks and development, and we've all had our hands in developing Marion to be the program that it is. And it's everything that I believe in, from our Wildcat creed down there to our pyramid of success, to those things. Those, you said, quotable. And I think those are one thing, that if we're teaching culture and we're teaching our beliefs the way we should, the kids should be able to talk that language. And that's a belief that we as a staff believe in, that I believe in, that, wins and losses are great, but not very many of our players are going professionally in this. They're going to be professionals at other things. And what I will truly value as a coach is when they come back years down the road, and number one, they still call you coach. Number two, they inform you about their lives and their kids, and they become good husbands, good dads, good people, good bosses, and seeing the success of them down the road. And hopefully their success there is attributed to what we've helped and taught them and built. And football is a tough game, and being able to bring up real life situations and show that to them, and then develop a self kind of inside expectation that they can build on from there, because things are going to be tough. Things are going to be hard, and life's going to do things to challenge them. And hopefully if we're doing our job as coaches, are teaching them through the game of football. And I feel very fortunate, very blessed, throw in all those other adjectives that, yes, I'm in a new role, but I'm not in a new place. And I bring in a staff that we work well together, we're friends. I walk into a group of players that already know who we are and what we believe in. I've got an administration who I've worked well. And I said in one of the other interviews, the interview to get this job, sitting there in the office with Mr. Gadiski, the athletic director, Mr. Addison, the principal, Miss Oldham was in there, and I'm like, these people already know me. And one thing, I'm pretty transparent. It's pretty easy to read. And I'm thinking, okay, I've been with Mr. Addison since high school. He was a sophomore whenever I was a senior. Ryan Gadiski's been the AD here for going on, I think next year will be year number 8 that he's been here. If I try to go in and be somebody I'm not in the interview, those two are going to see right through any type of elaboration or trying to expand on questions. They're like, no, we know him, we know him. But I think knowing that and going, I already know everybody here, trainers from administration to Dr. O, superintendent, to the school board. I've I've known them going into it. And they're like, okay, bottom line, you just got to be who you are. And so it's good to bring up the past and kind of show them and talk to them and go, hey, where the Heck Center was is where we used to practice. And as you said, you know, there's still a part of me that misses knowing when the weather started to turn cold and Marion had the brown Bermuda with blue lines and the track was around the field, and now you've seen how far that this program has come. It's special, it's humbling to go back and think about those times. And someone asked the question, you know, about, you know, replacing him. And I'm like, I don't look at it so much as replacing as continuing the journey that we started on. That we came here with a mission, with goals, and we have been able to accomplish a lot of those goals. There's still a few goals out there that are what we believe in. And we've been close. We've been close to making it to a state championship game, winning the state title, having the success, having the playoff run, having the victories in a season. There's still goals out there that we want to go, but yeah, I wouldn't want any other job. You know, that this has been on the back burner for a long time, and especially my mom would talk about, you know, when's it going to be your time, and having to tell her, be patient. If it's meant to be, it will work itself out. And like I said, 3 years ago, Coach Martin and I sat down in this very office and talked about the what ifs and the plans. And then all of a sudden he had a change of heart, change of mind. I thought, okay, it's not over. We'll just put it back and let whatever happens, happens. And going into the past, what, 3-4 months since he announced it and since the season's been over, our goal as a staff, and that's one thing I love about working with these guys, is our main goal was to keep the job in-house. Because we knew if we kept it in-house, we can keep things, make a smooth transition, whether myself or Coach Skeet. And then once it kind of came to reality that that's what happened, it's like, okay, now we just do what we do. We do what we've done since we made the decision and committed ourselves here in 2002. And we're just going to keep working to hopefully get Marion to stay that best job in the South, and build Marion to be as successful as we can, continue this run.